So guys, we're doing Proverbs chapter 1 today, chapter 1 verse 1.
I will make a little further than verse 1 because verse 1 is literally just the Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel.
Okay.
And that is it.
Because I read verse 1 and I was a bit, me, I was like kind of confused. Let's see.
Okay, so basically the book of Proverbs was written mainly by King Solomon, and King Solomon was one of King David's son, so he was the first king that took over after King David.
Okay.
Right? And well, when we study the life of King Solomon in the book of First and Second Kings, Chronicles and stuff, you will see that Solomon was one that asked God for wisdom to lead his people. So because he would have asked for wisdom, God told him that not only would I give you wisdom, but I would give you riches. Riches like no other king, no other man would ever see. And there was none with as much splendor, with as much riches, with as much wealth as King Solomon. And even with wisdom. So he had extensive amount of wisdom. And he would have kind of just narrowed it down and placed it into the book of Proverbs. You can also find it in the book of Ecclesiastes and Songs of Solomon. And as we go on, we will learn more about it. But right now we're studying the book of Proverbs, so this is just the introduction to it.
Okay.
Right? So verse 2 says, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity. So here, Solomon was really and truly just relaying what God would have given to him in the form of godly wisdom and understanding. So he is basically telling us this is what Proverbs is about. It is about gaining understanding. It's about perceiving wisdom and having instruction and really and truly getting into the nitty-gritty of what wisdom is and how to acquire wisdom and how to sustain wisdom in your life.
Okay.
Right? So he continues on and he says to give prudence to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man of understanding will attain wise counsel. So he begins to explain the people that will go after wisdom and understanding and want to learn, those that actually want to learn. And you would see that he would always reference people that have wisdom and understanding as wise, and those that don't have it as fools. And it's basically just to show the comparison between both and show how destruction will locate those that don't seek after wisdom and understanding. Right? So he says to the young man knowledge and discretion. So in everything that we do, there must always be a level of discretion that we use. Moderacy is always key, because too much of everything, and you would realize as we continue to study the life of Solomon, you would realize too much. Some things he took on too much of. So like he ended up with so many wives, mainly because he wanted to keep relationships with different nations. And so he married to these women of different cultures, of different beliefs. And they didn't serve God, the one true living God, like the Israelites did. And so he would have found himself in situations where he had to serve idol gods and things like that just to maintain those relationships with those nations. So this book is basically him. I think it's like a compilation of all the things that he would have learned throughout his tenure of being a king and even his lifetime.
You
right?
know something? Based on that, it's like that's something that happens in our everyday life, right? Because we would have family and friends of different religions, different backgrounds, different cultures.
Yeah.
And we would see them doing certain things and participating in certain things that we know we should not be doing as Christians. And because we don't want to upset them or make them feel bad or anything, we take that eat or whatever it is to get they offer us or whatever it is that they want us to actually do, we just do it for family's sake.
Yeah.
So it's something that I think youths today actually face, like a difficulty that we actually face as well.
Yeah.
And I think like this book could probably help us to actually know what to do in situations like this and to actually learn to say no when we spirit tell us to say no.
Yeah. Yeah. The main key is not to compromise. And what I believe in the Bible, all of the stories are not there just for us to follow, but some of them are there for our learning. So we learn from the mistakes of them.
Right.
Because what sometimes people fail to realize is even though they are in the Bible, they were humans. And they were subjected to make mistakes. And they did make mistakes. Because when we look at the life of most of them in the Old Testament, they made mistakes. Most of the kings of Israel made mistakes. A lot of them, Samson, all of these people, they made mistakes. But God allowed it to be in the Bible so that we can see what not to do. You know? So we can see what not to do, and we operate from that place of wisdom, and we know, okay, they did this and this is what happened because they did it.
Right.
So now we have to choose a different path, and we have to do the right thing. And even in them making mistakes, God will also show us that this was wrong, and this is why it led to them being this way. And this is why, so when we see that the kings of Israel doing the wrong thing, you would see that it would lead them to captivity, just as God told them. If it is you choose to do the right thing, you choose to abide by my law, you will prosper. You will succeed. You will have dominion over the nations that you go to subdue. But if it is you give yourself over to their gods, and you worship their gods, and you commit idolatry before me, you want to live in God, then you will be given over to them. And exactly what God said is what happened. So in that we see that, okay, if it is we do something wrong, this is what would happen. So God gave us the whole thing, the blueprint. So basically he laid the law. He said, if you choose this, this is what will happen to you. If you choose this, this is what will happen to you. It's just like the will of God. He always gives us the choice. He doesn't force anything on us. This is the standard that we live by. This is the standard that he set. If it is we don't live by it, there is a consequence that we have to pay because we choose to do something different.
But what about this, right? So let's say I'm a Christian, and I basically start reading the Bible and everything, and I basically got to understand what I'm supposed to do from what I'm not supposed to do, right? But then it's like, okay, you have friends, they are Christians as well, but they're still choosing to do the wrong things. And it's like when you start to talk about it, like when you start to talk against it, they feel offended and they feel like, hey, she throwing words at me, or this person coming at me because them not doing it. It's not because I'm holier than you. No, it's not that. To me, it's like if you were my friend, because you know the truth and what is right from wrong, and if you were my friend and you were someone who actually feared God, then you shouldn't take offense to what I am posting or what I'm saying, because I'm trying to do what is right. You should just be encouraging me and telling me, XYZ is the case, and not because you made a mistake means that you had to feel very bad or anything like that. Yes, people make mistakes, but don't try to condemn me who actually trying to take the right path now just because you took the wrong path. It's not a matter of jealousy or trying to fight down or trying to make you feel bad. It's just that my spirit wants something different now than what you probably wanted at a point in time. You know? So I think like in my life right now, I think I'm losing out some relationships because of that as well. Like I would post it there because, bro, this is what I'm going through right now. It's not to offend you. It's not to come at you. It's just what I actually see and what I actually want. I'll be seeing how I doing certain things. I'm like, nah, there's not the life I want. My spirit telling me, no, Jamila, this is something totally different. This is not what you want. And then even when you're in a relationship as well, you find your partner like picking up for the persons who actually doing what you against. And it causes confusion, it causes division. Right. You know? And sometimes you just be like, well, okay, it's like that, just use all and done. Because what else is supposed to do? Yeah. Once you decide to make a stand and take a stand for God and the things of God, you would find that he will begin to separate the sheep from the goat. He would begin to separate them. Now, the thing is, sometimes people just know God, they just know of God, but they don't know God for themselves. So in that case, things like that will happen, and they would take offense mainly because one, they're self-righteous. Morning. They're self-righteous, and they don't want to come out of that way because they're comfortable with what they're doing. So it's like a lot of people okay with being lukewarm, so they're okay with being 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So it's like you want to serve God, but you want to serve God on your own terms. You know, you want to do things the way that you want to do it and not the way that God requires you to do it. And so you would find them being offended a lot when it is
you would post things because now it's time to hit them. But instead of they using it to actually bring conviction to them, they would use it to oppose you.
Right.
You understand? But the reality is, God would allow people to speak because He doesn't want us to come before Him and say, we never knew this. So even within your friends, God may be using you as that person that would be that voice of reason for them, so that He giving them an opportunity to come back and say, God, I was doing things the wrong way and I want to fix it, you know? And if we within ourselves can humble ourselves, because God said, if my people that are called by my name will humble themselves, it doesn't only refer to a nation, it refers to us as people, individuals.
Right.
So if it is you are called by God's name and you don't know how to humble yourself and come back to Him, then you're in trouble. Because now you're not leaning on you're not leaning on God, you're leaning on your own understanding. And that's where you would find yourself being in trouble. So people like that, the best thing that they should be doing is really and truly just using it, not necessarily watching the messenger, but watch the message.
Sure. Right.
You understand? Because God could use anybody. He could use anybody to bring a message to you. If He used animals in the Bible, then who are we? You understand? So it doesn't matter who the message come through. What we have to do is be humble enough to accept that message, because it is God showing us mercy. Because if it is you, don't take that opportunity to go before God and repent and say, Lord, I realize what I was doing was wrong. You know, then it will be held. You will be held accountable. Morning. You will be held accountable, because God will say, but remember, Jamila posted this. Why didn't you take heed then? And she knew that message was for you. You took offense instead of taking heed and decided to just ask for forgiveness, plead for mercy. You understand? So sometimes people see things in the wrong context. They see it from the eyes of offense, and that is always be our downfall. The Bible said, let offense be far from us, because it is a very big stumbling block for the believer. If we allow that bait of offense to get the better of us, we would not grow and we would not become who God wants us to become. So in that sense, you can't look at their faces. You have to do what God told you to do, because you too will be held accountable. If God told you to do something, God told you to post something, He told you to share a message about something, He knows what He wants to do. And it's not up to us. We are the only assignment that we have is to plant that seed.
Correct. Right.
And if it is we get instruction to plant that seed and we don't plant it, then that would be, we will be held accountable, because by us planting that seed, we could actually cause somebody to come back.
Right.
You understand? Even though some might take offense to it, some people might actually read it and say, wait boy, God, I hear you, and I'm coming back. It might be confirmation to somebody else. So by us being disobedient, we will be held accountable as well. So in everything there is always a consequence to our actions and or consequence to our inactions. So it is important that we don't shy away from these things. It will happen because people resisted Jesus. They persecuted Him for everything that He was doing. He was a blameless man.
Correct.
So then if it is that happened to Jesus, then who are we? Our own families, our own friends, people that we know and we love, we hold dear and close to us, they would feel offended. You know, but this is just the reality that we face.
Understood.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning. Yeah, so we can continue. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. He says, a wise man will hear and increase learning. A man of understanding will attain wise counsel. To understand a proverb and an enigma, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So here now He begins to kind of show you the difference. And He shows you where it is foolish to not obtain knowledge from God. So you can obtain knowledge, but godly wisdom and godly knowledge is a totally different thing altogether. So we have carnal knowledge and we have godly knowledge.
Right.
Solomon, at the beginning of his reign, he was the one that went to God. Well, he gave a sacrifice and God came to him in a dream and God asked him what he wants. He said, I need wisdom to lead your people. So God gave him that wisdom. So now we understand that the wisdom that he obtained was not of the world.